Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Tami Azka Rahmawati with student ID number 194010018, and I will be present or share or explain about the mind map that I made with the title Short Workplace Messages and Digital Media. The first one is communicating in the digital age with emails and memos. Enabled by technology, our lives have become social and mobile. And those things have transformed communication from one-on-one online conversations to one-to-many transmissions. As we engage socially almost all the time, our reliance on smartphones and other electronic devices only keeps growing. Even if you are internet and social media savvy, you may need to know how businesses use communication technologies to transmit and share information. In this part, divided into 7 points. The first point is email going strong at 50. Roughly 50 years after the first email was sent, total email traffic keeps growing 4% a year worldwide. Despite chat, texting, and mobile messaging of all kinds, most business messages are still sent by email. Neither social media, augmented reality, and video chatting, nor phishing, hacking, and spam have diminished the high importance of email in the workplace. Email has replaced paper memos for many messages inside organizations and some letters to external audiences. Because you can expect to use email extensively to communicate at work, it's smart to learn how to do it expertly. Second point is common complaints about email. Although email is recognized as the mainstay of business communication, it's not always done well. For example, the complaints is email overload. In addition to the complaints about confusing and poorly written emails, many people are overwhelmed with too many messages. Some of those messages are unnecessary, such as those that merely confirm receipt of a message or ones that express thanks. Others blame email for eliminating the distinction between work life and home life. Now more than ever in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, because employees working remotely feel an urgency to be available 24/7 and respond immediately. Second example is the scary permanence of digital messages. Still, other email senders fail to recognize how dangerous email can be. After deletion, email files still leaves trail on servers within and outside organizations. Despite its dark side, email has many advantages and remains a prime communication channel. The third point is knowing when an email is appropriate. In comparison, email is appropriate for longer, more involved, and well-organized messages that may provide or request information and respond to inquiries. It is especially effective for messages to multiple receivers and messages that must be archived. An email is also appropriate as a cover document when sending longer attachments. Email, however, is not a substitute for face-to-face conversation or telephone calls. The fourth point is composing professional emails. Professional emails are quite different from messages you may send to friends, but professional emails are well-considered messages that involve all 4 stages of the writing process. The 4 stages, such as drive a compelling but concise subject line, include a greeting, organize the body for readability and tone, and the last is close effectively. The fifth point is keeping your inbox in check. The most important strategy is checking your email at set times. To avoid being distracted, be sure to turn off your audio and visual alerts. Another excellent time saver is the 2-minute rule. If you can read and respond to a message within 2 minutes, then take care of it immediately. For messages that require more time, add them to your to-do list or schedule them on your calendar. To be polite, send a quick note telling the sender when you plan to respond. The 6th point is replying efficiently without editing. When answering email, a useful skill to develop is down editing. This involves inserting your responses to parts of the incoming message. Another efficient technique is to use a different font color for your down edits. It takes a little practice to develop this skill, but the down edited reply reduces confusion, saves writing and reading time, and makes you look professional. And the last point is writing inter-office memos. Although email has largely replaced memos, you may still be called on to use the memo format in specific instances. Memos are necessary for important internal messages that are too long for email, require a permanent record, demand formality, or inform employees who may not have work email, such as those in manufacturing or construction. Comparing memos and emails. Memos have much in common with emails. Both usually carry non-sensitive information that may be organized directly with the main idea first. Both have guide words calling for a subject line, a deadline, and the identification of the sender and receiver. To enhance readability, both should be organized with headings, bulleted lists, and enumerated items whenever possible. The similarities of both emails and memos is close with action information, dates or deadlines, a summary of the message, and a closing thought. Second is about messaging and texting at work. Instant messaging enables two or more individuals to communicate in real time by exchanging brief text-based messages. Companies, large and small, now provide live online chats staffed with customer service representatives during business hours, in addition to the usual contact options such as telephone and email. And increasingly, powered automated chatbots are replacing humans for routine inquiries 24/7. Text messaging or texting is another popular means for exchanging brief messages in real time. Usually exchanged via smartphone, texting requires a short messaging service or SMS supplied by a wireless service provider. This part divided into 6 points. The first point is benefits of instant messaging and texting. The major attraction of instant messaging is real-time communication with colleagues anywhere in the world. And if a cell phone signal or a Wi-Fi connection is available, like instant messaging, texting can substitute for voice calls, delivering messages between mobile phone users quickly and discreetly. And some businesses, for example Target and Domino's Pizza, use SMS for recruitment, first by inviting applicants to opt in with a short code so that they may receive text updates at each stage of the hiring process. Second point is risk of messaging apps and texting. Despite their popularity among workers, some organizations forbid employees to use texting and instant messengers unless these tools are job relevant and enterprise grade. And so, the organizations build compliance requirements and security, and then liability burden. The organizations are fighting back to raise awareness and diminish liability. They are instituting detailed media use policies, now covering encrypted and ephemeral messaging apps. Businesses also protect themselves with formal employee training and technology tools such as monitoring, filtering, and blocking. Third point is best practice for instant messaging and texting. If the organization does allow messaging or texting for work, you can use it efficiently and professionally by following these guidelines, such as comply with company policies, social media use, code of conduct, and ethics guidelines, as well as harassment and discrimination policies. Don't disclose sensitive financial, company, customer, employee, or executive data, and don't say anything that could damage your reputation or your organization. Avoid harassment and discriminatory content against classes protected by law. Don't forward or link to inappropriate photos and videos or art. Don't text or chat while driving a car. Separate business contacts from family and friends. Avoid unnecessary chit-chat and know when to say goodbye. Ensure your present status is up to date so that people trying to reach you don't waste their time. And the last is use good grammar and correct spelling. Fourth point is text messaging etiquette. Texting is quick and unobtrusive, and for simple routine messages, it is often the best alternative to a phone call or email. Etiquette experts summarize the suggestions they offer for the considerate and professional use of texting. It is like timing, introducing, addressing, expressing, and responding. The fifth point is enterprise messaging Slack. As we have seen, texting and instant messaging are convenient alternatives to routine phone calls and have all but replaced email for short internal communication. The upside is enterprise group chat apps such as Slack appeal to many workers because they declare email inboxes, simplify workplace communication, and function as digital water coolers with chat rooms to socialize in. And one of Slack's main benefits is increased camaraderie as workers collaborate on main channels but also congregate in private channels to chat about mundane topics. Unlike email, Slack is ideal for quick answers and efficient back and forth exchanges, but it is not suited for information dumps or lengthy discussions. And the downside is Slack critics cite three major problems areas, such as distraction, spillover of workplace messaging into home life, and rude behavior on the platform. And some workers find Slack is distracting that they refuse to use it, while others cannot disengage from it. And the last point is Slack etiquette. Slack is much less formal than email, and to avoid the danger of accidental oversharing and forgetting you are at work, these are ultimate Slack etiquette guide, such as stay away from slang and acronyms with swear words in them. Avoid talking about job hunting, illness, finance, or hating coworkers. Shun arguments. Compliment your coworkers. Curb the emojis. Use miscellaneous channels to make friends and adjust your tone to your audience. Third is making podcasts work for business. Professional podcasts can be elaborate production and require quality hardware, which may explain why their use is lagging that of other corporate digital media channels. And this part divided into 3 points. The first point is the growing popularity of podcasts. Podcasts are digital audio programs resembling radio shows. They tend to be series of episodes that generally feature a host, sometimes two, often in an interview format. The growth in smartphone use and other technological advances have boosted the reach and popularity of podcasting. One huge benefit of podcasting is portability. And podcasts can cover topics as diverse as news, politics, business, sports, popular culture, and self-help. Second point is the main players in podcasting. Podcasts can be categorized by genre or subject and by producers and their purpose. Among podcast providers, these are examples of main players in podcasting, such as corporations and other businesses, entrepreneurs and enterprising individuals, news and media organizations, and the last is education podcast. Third point is, can podcasts make money and do they last? The biggest names in podcasting who command sizable audiences will attract advertisers, usually those that offer related brands and covet the listenership demographic of the show. And advertisers go where the ears are. Sought after podcasters also have sponsor and get paid for product endorsements. Fourth is about telling stories with blogs and news sites. A blog is a website or social media platform with generally well-crafted articles on topics such as new products or services, media coverage, industry news, human resources, and philanthropy. The two biggest advantages of external business blogs are that they can accumulate a far-flung, vast audience and allow companies to shape the brand story in a longer narrative form. And blogs are another tool for public relations and brand building, one channel in a multi-channel social media strategy. And this part divided into 2 points. The first point is how companies tell stories. Like social media platforms, corporate blogs may be used to create virtual communities. Companies use blogs for public relations, customer relations, market research, internal communication, online community building, and recruiting. Internal blogs accessible to employees on a corporate internet serve as information hubs, encourage discussion, create a sense of community, and foster engagement. Second point is mastering blogging 7 tips. These are 7 tips to be successful in mastering at blogging, such as craft a catchy but concise title, ace the opening paragraph, provide details in the body, consider visuals, include a call to action, edit and proofread, and the last is respond to posts respectfully. And the lastly is navigating social networking for business. Popular social networking sites such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are used by businesses for similar reasons and in much the same way as podcasts and blogs. And this part divided into 4 points. The first point is tapping into social media. Business interest in social media is not surprising if we consider that online is where in marketing speak. No wonder then that businesses are eager to connect on social media with this particular demographic, but also precisely target the other age groups wherever they may congregate online. The most popular social media is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Twitter, and WhatsApp. Overall, social media adoption is still growing, with a slight drop-off or leveling out among Gen X. Second point is enterprise social networking. Companies launching comprehensive enterprise networking platforms such as Connections, Jave, or Microsoft's Yammer are investing in what they hope will lead to greater employee engagement and productivity. The advantage of enterprise social media networks is that they are searchable, enabling workers to tag, follow, view activity feeds, and more. And users can access and send information much more efficiently than by email alone. And this social networking can enable damage control and responding to grievances, connecting dispersed workers, and crowdsourcing employees to achieve buy-in. The third point is social media and risk management. Public-facing social networks hold great promise for businesses while also presenting potential risk. However, businesses are also fret about lost productivity, reputational damage, and legal issues. To minimize risk, companies rely on social media policies approved on overseas employees, use of social media, and mandate training. They believe only trained social media professionals should speak for an organization. And the best advice to workers is to follow company policies, assume that privacy doesn't exist, and avoid sharing sensitive information, list of all risk photographs. And the last point is the dark side of technology and social media. This section addresses several cyber threats that affect all of us as business people and citizens. The dark side is such as privacy fears, disinformation and election tampering, deepfakes and doctored videos, incivility, trolling, and cyberbullying. And the last is data security. And that's all from me. I hope that you can find something useful from this mind map and explanation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.